Okay, good morning, folks. This is a really quick tutorial on how to use the test cut feature of the Silhouette program. The test cut feature will help you to create the appropriate settings in your settings box for the different materials that you'll be cutting. So it helps too to do test cuts so that you're not wasting a whole lot of material. They've got a very user-friendly feature, and so here, let me show you how to use it. So this is my example up here. Test cuts are always done in the upper left-hand corner. So either use sample materials, like a little scrap piece of vinyl or HTV or whatever you're using, or plan for its cut in your design, meaning don't put any of your important design elements up in that upper left-hand corner if you plan on running test cuts. So I'm just going to run through real quick how to do the test cuts and also how to use the feature that allows you to move a test cut to do additional test cuts afterwards. So here's my design, and we're going to move over here to the design box, or the cutting box where all the features are, my cut features. You are of course going to set whatever material it is that you're cutting up in the upper right hand corner, and then it'll give you the base settings, whatever you have associated with that material. So blade depth, speed, force, and then if you're going to do more than one pass. So I set it for just a basic 651. This is my personal settings. I found it works best with my blade on the materials I cut. So I've got it at a blade depth of 4, speed 5, force 13, and we pass it once. So over here in this far corner is where the test option is. So first I'm going to load my material, and I've chosen just to put a little scrap of vinyl on my cutting mat, and then I'll come back and push the test button. So over here is where I'm going to load up my test vinyl. Put it in the upper left-hand corner, and we'll just load the cutting mat. Okay, and then over here, I'm gonna simply click test. And it's going to cut a small little square with a triangle in the center in the upper left-hand corner. That will test my settings. So I'm gonna unload. And then you should be able to see there. You can see the little test cut. So it's at this point that you can take any of your weeding tools and attempt to weed that corner. If the settings is where you want it to be, great. In this case, the settings work for me. If you'll notice, it doesn't cut the paper underneath, so it didn't cut through, but it cut out clearly so I could pull the vinyl straight up. And that's what I'm looking for. However, if there were problems, which happens, especially if you're trading blades or if you're cutting a new material, then I can run a second test cut. In fact, I can run as many test cuts as I want. So if I wanted to run another test cut with an adjustment made to the settings, I just put my scrap vinyl back in, or put your project vinyl back in, and the Silhouette has put in this nice little feature. It's these little box of arrows just to the left of test. This controls the location of the blade. So it allows me to adjust where I want the test cut from. So if you'll listen, you can hear the blade moving. So if you'll watch over here, I'm going to use those little arrows, and I'm going to push until the blade is outside of the last test cut, because I don't want it to cut over. And then back here on the screen, I can make whatever adjustments I want. Like if it didn't cut all the way through, then I will increase the force. Or if it cut all the way through the paper, I can decrease the force. So that's where you'll make your adjustments before you hit test again. So then it runs a second test cut. So let's see, let me unload this, and you can see, yeah, you totally can. Let me just get this into the light. You can see, since I've adjusted the location, there's my second test cut. I scooted the blade over a little bit. So again, you test it, peel it. Did it work? Did it not work? And if so, do I need to readjust? If not, and I'm happy with it, then go ahead and cut your full project. This will make sure that you're not wasting sheets of whatever, vinyl, HTV, fabric you're cutting. So you can use the test cut over and over and over again. So good luck. Hopefully this will be helpful.